Hello everyone, it is time for another episode of Music of the Week, and I have a sad announcement about this one. This is going to be my last ever episode of Music of the Week in 2024. I will continue it next year, but I basically just got this entire month for a whole lot of catch-ups, and there's so many catch-ups, so I'm basically just going to be doing that and not doing any more weekly reviews until next year. But we got 6 to go through for this one, so let's go through them. We begin with As I Lay Dying and their new album Through Storms Ahead. These are metalcore stalwarts from America. A lot of people really like these guys, and this is their first album in about 5 years. I'm giving this one a B+. I feel like it's got a lot of really good highlights. All the stuff that you expect to be good about As I Lay Dying is there. The instrumentation is still top fucking notch. The guitar work especially lovely. Drumming, lovely. The performances are really good too, especially Tim Lambesis, who is a really good vocalist still. But I will give credit to Phil Sgrosso for stepping up on the guitar in this one, and Nick Pierce doing a really good job on the drums for his only appearance. Production is pretty good as well, it was done by Phil Sgrosso alongside Hiram Hernandez. But it's impossible to ignore the elephant in the room, which is the fact that this was basically just a Tim Lambesis album, because this was sort of the only recording of a few of the members. I think one of them only contributed one guitar solo to one of the songs. But yeah, it feels a bit like the Tim Lambesis ego project, but I don't want it to be that. And to be honest, not everyone who's left the band is left on bad terms, but there is something that needs to be looked at. I just hope that whatever is, as I write in my Discord review, I hope whatever is fucked can unfuck itself, because this is one of the best metalcore bands of all time. I fully believe it. But there is a big ego problem going on, so I hope that they fix whatever's wrong with it. Still, it's a really good album, and I think a lot of people are piling a bit too much hate on it. As an album, it's really good if you ignore the drama, and I tried to do it. Not always easy, but still really good. Great instrumentation, pretty decent pace as well, all things considered, solid lyricism. But yeah, the riff work and performances are probably the highlights for me. I think the reason it's not getting higher though is because it doesn't really feel like anything new, which might be the album's main problem. It just kind of feels like an As I Lay Dying album, but hey, it's an As I Lay Dying album. That's usually a good thing. Next, we have a Swiss band, hardcore Swiss band named Cola Guns, with their fourth album, Odd Love. Really fucking enjoyed this one. I'm giving this one an A. Really liked the unique lyrical theme of the band's relationship with music and just being a band in general. Really unique sort of thing. It's written quite nicely. The band have really solid chemistry as well too. The instrumentation's really good. But sometimes they can ping off the rails a bit too much, which is weird because they have this nice experimentation of being very post-hardcore-y and having these nice punk and sludge elements, but they don't always work them in the best way, and I feel like that needed a bit of work. Also, the pacing can also veer off a bit too much and occasionally disappear up its own butt. But I think, all in all, it's still really fucking good hardcore, especially from a band, from a country that's not really known for putting out hardcore music. I don't really check out music from Switzerland enough, to be honest. Seems like a nice place, though. Really solid instrumentation. I like the lyrical theme. I like the mixing as well. It's handled really nicely. It's got a good density to it, which I think helped the sound. Band members, all pretty good, especially singer-guitarist Luis Juca. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, he puts out a lot of energy, and I like his sort of more guttural way of singing. All in all, really good personal feeling hardcore stuff, and sort of a throwback in terms of its style as well. And I always appreciate that stuff. Next is Father John Misty with his 6th album under the Father John Misty name, because it's the stage name of a singer named Josh Tillman, titled Mahashmashana. Which is taken from an Indian word for rebirth, and I'm giving this one an A-. This is my first Father John Misty album. I've known about him for 6 years. I just didn't bother checking out stuff because I don't think back then I would have been into this sort of style of artsy orchestral pop, but now I quite liked it. I think it's really good. I think John's presentation is really nice, His production alongside Drew Erickson is really good. John himself is very charismatic, he's a really good writer, and there are some really good lyrical themes like mental health, depression, addiction, and the sense of self, all written with some really good wit, and John is known for his sarcastic lyrics and really good narratives. But I think that sort of my main issue is that it doesn't lean fully into a narrative, and I think it should have. It's a bit tonally inconsistent as well, because I like the pop elements, I like the orchestral elements, I like the rock elements. I wanted them all to come together into a big thing, though, and John doesn't really do that here. And a few of the songs are a fair bit long. It's got 8 songs, but it's over 50 minutes, and it feels weird, especially in terms of its tone, because I really feel like if some of the songs were switched around, it could have made for a much more flowy album. I think the first song on the album, which is the title track, I think it's the longest song, which is over 9 minutes, maybe 9.5. I don't fully know. yeah, it's my favourite song of the album, but I think it would have been better if it were the last song, because again, it's a title track, ending it with a 9-minute title track just makes more sense to me. I don't know, but I liked I like the intense experimentation. John's performance really good. I like the lyrical themes, and yeah, mostly enjoyed the rest as well. I just wish they could have melded the styles a little bit better. But all in all, for my first Father John Misty album, really could have done a lot worse, and this was very enjoyable. Next, we have one that I was almost going to do for catch-ups because this album was going to be Juice WRLD's posthumous album, but I found that's being pushed back to tomorrow, and anything that's coming out tomorrow and afterwards is going to be in my catch-ups list. So, this album is actually Kendrick Lamar's new one, GNX, his 6th album all in all, and fuck you, Kendrick. It's an A+, and I absolutely fucking hate it because it's made me sorting out my top 30 for the end of the year a lot bloody more difficult. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, pretty much everything good that can be said about this album has been said. Kendrick is great, as you would expect, very charismatic, well written, well read, loved the writing about oppression and black culture, and how his perception and artistry are seen by people, and it's really fucking good. Really good structuring the writing, good delivery of, like, multis and impact as well, and good flow all in all. And the guest spots are really good too, and also Mustard, couldn't not bring that up from the song TV Off. My favourite song on the album is Reincarnated, but like, yeah, TV Off has the meme bit, and there's always a meme bit with the Kendrick album, which I appreciate. Mix is fucking incredible as well. Obviously, tons of producers because it's a rap album, and Kendrick is one of the main producers. But really love the beat mixes, which use amazing sampling and a really nice, straightforward West Coast vibe, which I really think helps, and it helps to help. Well, it helps to help the pacing, yeah, and keeps it nice and focused, while throwing in some really good tricks to keep the listener guessing, and I did read a good chunk of that from there, but who cares. My one complaint, though, it's a very minor one, is sort of with the pacing in a weird way, because it feels like a couple of the songs could have maybe been a bit longer, but that's kind of it. I mean, yeah, no, well, a lot of people are putting this on their best of lists for the year, and I'm very much inclined to agree. So yeah, fucking Kendrick. It's fucking good. Go listen. Mustard. Next, we go to Australia for Ocean Grove and their 4th album, Oddworld, and my 3rd album overall by them. I'm giving this one the lowest grade of the episode, which is a B-. Now, I really like Ocean Grove, and I like the fact that this one brings back former members, because there's a former guitarist who returns, I think, but more importantly, one of the band's former vocalist, Luke Holmes, returns, and I like that they're using both him and current vocalist Dale Tanner, who was also with the band originally, I think, but like stuck around after Luke left. But you know, they have a really good style, and I like that Luke does the more sort of like screamy and rappy stuff, while Dale does like a lot cleaner style, you know, and I like that they bring back the more nu metal elements, because typically I think I forgot to mention Kendrick Lamar's style, like it's West Coast hip hop rap, there you go, but yeah, Ocean Grove initially started as nu metalcore and leaned more into an alt rock post slash grungy vibe, and with this one, they keep that vibe but include metalcore, but they don't mesh them well enough together, and it sort of hurts the pacing a bit. I also feel like the production is a bit too clean in some places. It could have benefited from a more raw approach. It's still pretty decent, handled by the band's drummer Sam Bassel. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But I will say the lyrics are also not great. There's good themes, like loss and death and depression and hopelessness, but they're very cringy. They're not really written or presented in a mature way, which I think kind of hurts things a little bit, but it's still really solid. I will say, as a fan of Ocean Grove, this is probably my least favourite album by them, but, you know, I like me Aussie music, I does, and this is still a very unique band that people should listen to. I feel like it's lacking the fun factor of the previous couple of albums. I feel like they can do a serious album, and I think it was at odds with itself. A bit tonally weird, but I have no doubt that, you know, if they could make the styles of nu metal slash hardcore punky mix well with the, well, obviously the hardcore, but also like the alt rock and grungy vibes, I really feel like they can sail and make a very unique style. They don't really do that here, which does hurt the album, but it's still a good album by a band that I quite enjoy. I've done the thumbs up a lot for this video. And finally, we have the 14th album by Swedish proggy death metal band Opeth, titled The Last Will and Testament. And I'm giving this one a B. I liked it. I like the attempt at a concept which, you know, focuses on like a post-World War I thing, of like this person opening like this well, and it's dedicated to one person with like an illegitimate child he had, and it could potentially lead to like murder and betrayal and stuff. and it's got great instrumentation. I love the guitar work especially. I think the lyricism is pretty solid, you know, trying to tell a story. Performance is really good. Mikhail Akefelt, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, really good singer and fantastic guitarist as well. Production solid, but god, the pacing, yeah, I probably brought up the pacing so many times with these episodes, haven't I? But there's so much wankery. There is so much wankery. Like, Father John Misty's album was shorter than this one by like 30 seconds, and doesn't have nearly as much wankery as this one does. And they've both got the same amount of songs, which I find very interesting. But yeah, I think the main issue I have with this album is the fact that it doesn't really lean well enough into the storytelling, because there is a narrative that's supposed to be there, but there's way too much instrumentation and not enough lyrical storytelling. And it makes a lot of the songs feel like instrumental tracks with bits of words in them, and I don't like that, especially because this is not me like guessing that's a concept album. No, it is listed specifically to be a concept album. There's a whole fucking thing about it. Like, it's on the Wikipedia page. It's their first concept album since one they dropped in 1999. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have actually made it more of a concept album, because you can do long concept albums with great instrumentation work and really good narrative. You know, look at both the things that Tala did. Look at both their albums, you know? Look at the No One Should Read This EP. I mean, if they can do it, if they can cram all the stuff but actually cram in, like, narrative significance, then Opeth, who've been around for 30 years longer, don't really have a fucking excuse, in my opinion. I'm being very harsh for a B album. I don't know. I like a really good story, and it doesn't really lean a lot into that. But the instrumentation is great, production is really good. I do like the attempt at the concept, and the band still sound quite good. I say that even though this is my first album by them. So yeah, all in all, still quite enjoyed it. Next is the official ranking system. So at the bottom, it's probably Ocean Grove with Oddworld, then Opeth with Last Will and Testament, then As I Lay Dying with Through Storms Ahead, then Father John Misty with Mahash Mashana, then Coil Guns with Odd Love, and then Kendrick Lamar with GNX. But as always, go and listen to all of these yourself and formulate your own opinions, because that's what makes this shit generally quite interesting. As for my favourite song, it probably goes to Reincarnation from GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Favorite album cover, I mean, there's some pretty decent ones, but I'd have to go with As I Lay Dying with Through Storms Ahead. I just think it looks really cool, you know, as a lot of their covers typically do. I just really like, the presentation of it. It just looks quite nice to me. I like the usage of the lighting. It's really good. And that'll be it from me. Next thing you'll see me for will likely be the halfway show for PPW vs AEW tomorrow night. I'm so glad we're back. Season 6 rolled. Season 7 is off to a really good start as far as I'm concerned. So, we're going to see how else that goes. And obviously, and maybe Saturday night, probably the continuation of my Monaco What Yours Is Mine Let's Play. I don't really know, because I haven't kept up on the levels and collecting the coins. I should probably do that, maybe. Although, if you do want to watch a Let's Play, my Quake one is fully done as of last night. My Quake 2021 Remake Let's Play is fully uploaded, so if you want to check that out, I recommend it. But that'll be it for me. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye. That's all staying. Fuck it.